I think it's time we talk about Nurse Hannah, who goes by Hannah Biat on TikTok. She is the Mormon mommy influencer who has gone viral for some pretty controversial content. With nearly 400,000 followers, her videos have sparked some intense reactions, with many online accusing her of rage baiting. But before we get into today's discussion, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Trigger warning. Before we get into today's topic, I just want to make it clear that we're going to be discussing some pretty serious stuff. We will be discussing child abuse, so if you're not in the right headspace to hear about something like that, then skip today's video. Now, just for some context, Nurse Hannah first went viral for refusing prenatal care when she was 30-something weeks pregnant. Her reasoning at first was because she trusted her body to grow a baby.
I just don't think it's that necessary. Like, I feel fine. Baby's growing. I trust my body to grow a baby. Like, what do you think they did back in, 1920? You think they're going to the doctor, 10, 15 times while they were pregnant? No. Last time when I was pregnant with my son, I didn't go to the doctor until I was about 25 weeks. That time, it was because of, insurance problems, but I think I just learned that it's not that necessary.
However, she then posted a follow-up video and changed her reasoning, claiming that the real reason she wasn't seeing a doctor was because of insurance issues.
So I'm 25 weeks pregnant, and let me tell you the real reason why I haven't been able to go to the doctor. Because I believe that going to the doctor while you're pregnant is 100% necessary. I just haven't been able to go. So as a travel nurse, insurance is really, really tricky. It sucks. And I was trying to be, back in November, I was really trying to plan ahead. I'm like, Kate, we are going to probably want to start having more kids here pretty soon. I need to figure out good insurance. Last time when I was pregnant with James, we paid $10,000. So I was like, we are not doing that again. I am not paying $10,000 for this baby. We need to figure out something different.
Which felt a bit gaslighty to many viewers. But honestly, that's not the main issue we're going to be focusing on today. So I will just simply move past it. The second major controversy was the 17 diapers video, where she showed 17 dirty diapers scattered all around her house, and this raised a lot of eyebrows.
Let's pick up all the dirty diapers I have lying around my house right now. I kid you not, my guess is probably 15. I don't own a diaper pail or a diaper genie or whatever they're called. They just kind of get thrown around my house, and then we just collect them in a bag at the end of the day and take them out to the dumpster. So I've been solo parenting for the last 24 hours, so we're gonna see how many dirty diapers we have just lying around with 2 kids. I promise you, I'm not even exaggerating, this has only been 24 hours. So I'm counting just 4 diapers right here on the coffee table. Found another one right behind the couch. Oh, found 2 more. So far that's what, 7 diapers, I'm pretty sure. That's just down here, in the kitchen living room area. Let's go upstairs. I already know this is gonna be so bad. Okay, so right away I'm seeing 1, 2, 3 diapers. So that's 8, 9, 10 diapers. Then into the bedroom. This is the corner of what my side of the bed looks like at night. It's embarrassing, I know. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think if I counted right, that's 17 diapers lying around my house. No wonder my house friggin' stinks right now.
Picking up diapers around your house like they're Easter eggs is crazy. The reason why I think she may be rage baiting, though that doesn't excuse it, is because this whole situation feels a bit staged. If these dirty diapers are piling up in the hallway, it makes you wonder, where is she changing these diapers? Why are they in the hallway again? It almost feels as though they were purposefully placed there to create a controversial video. That's just what it's giving to me. Now, I am not a parent, so I can't speak to what the first few days of postpartum or what it feels like after you have a baby. But I do know what extreme depression feels like. During my lowest points, when I was in deep, deep depression, I let my living space fall into complete disarray. I'm not proud to admit this, but trash piled up. I was using another trash bag leaning against the wall because my original trash can was too full. There were dishes piling up in the sink. Laundry hadn't been done in weeks, maybe even months. My place was a complete mess. That said, I know I don't fully understand what it's like to juggle postpartum recovery, but I do know the weight of severe depression. Even though I think the state of the house in these videos is disgusting, I can imagine during the depths of my own depression, I might have let things get like this. However, the key difference here is that I didn't have a toddler and a newborn to care for. I wasn't responsible for keeping a clean, safe environment where there is a risk of choking or getting dirty diapers everywhere or even being exposed to germs. If I had to look after children while I was struggling in my depression, I would absolutely need help. And I would need to get creative to make things a little bit more manageable. Which brings me to Hannah's excuse of not owning a diaper pail or a diaper genie. Honestly, it just really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It's really not that expensive to go to the dollar store and get little mini bathroom trash cans and make sure that they're in every room so that you can just throw the diapers in there when you're done and then collect them at the end of the night from each trash can. People who've been financially struggling like myself know how to improvise. If you don't want to spend a couple bucks on a few trash cans, you could easily tie a grocery bag to each doorknob of the house. And every time you walk out of the room, just toss the diaper in the bag. Then at the end of the day, you can collect all of those bags and dispose of them properly. It's a simple, cost-effective way to avoid having biohazards around the house. And it prevents toddlers from potentially getting into a messy situation. Now, dirty diapers aside, because that's not really what this video is about, I just want to provide some context because I do see a lot of moms defending Hannah online. And though I can understand that she might be struggling with postpartum depression, on the same hand, you do have children to take care of. And there are simple, cost-effective ways to make your house a little bit more sanitary and safe. This is now where things unfortunately take a dark turn. Before we watch the following clips, I just want you to keep in mind that the woman in these videos had once said this.
I'm a mom to an 18-month-old, and I'm sorry, but a pat on the bum doesn't hurt them, it helps them on the long run. Let's get ready and talk controversial ways that I parent my kid.
So she's sharing her controversial parenting takes, and she says, a pat on the bum doesn't hurt them, it helps them in the long run. So we now have Hannah herself stating that she gives her 18-month-old a pat on the bum. And let me be clear, I am truly not the one to judge anybody's parenting styles, especially since I am not a parent myself. So I really don't understand how difficult it can be. But if you hit your kids, even if it's just a pat on the bum, I will judge you. I don't care if you think it builds character or helps them in the long run, because in reality, it doesn't. Studies show that it actually does more harm than good. It breaks the trust between parent and child, and quite honestly, it's just lazy, low-effort parenting. When parents hit their kids, it tells me that they lack the language and emotional intelligence to tell their child what they want in a way their child can understand. So instead of finding a way they can communicate, they resort to harming someone they are supposed to protect. Someone who is a fraction of their size simply because they're just too lazy or unable to figure out a better approach. It's all about scaring them, making them feel small, and wanting them to shrink themselves. A 2021 research article on spanking and its effects on the brain states, research has long underscored the negative effects of spanking on children's social emotional development, self-regulation, and cognitive development. New research published this month shows that spanking alters children's brain response in similar ways to severe maltreatment and increases their perception of threats. Preschool and school-age children and even adults who have been spanked are more likely to develop anxiety and depression disorders or struggle with engaging positively in school and developing necessary regulatory skills, which are crucial for success in educational settings. So, Nurse Hannah, for someone who's supposed to be a healthcare professional, You really are quite an idiot. Now, the next little controversial video that Nurse Hannah posted was a video where her son, and her husband are in the grocery store. And her son is sitting inside the grocery cart crying. And it appears as though her husband goes to hand her son a box of ice cream. And he then braces for impact. The child was already crying, so he was in distress, and it wasn't as though the child was flinching. He was literally bracing as though he was about to get hit in the face. And before I show you the clip, I'll let you know that I've blurred the child's face, but you can still see his little arms go up. Trigger warning, if you've ever been hit or abused, this is going to be upsetting to you because you know exactly what this looks like. Once I saw this clip, there was absolutely no doubt in my mind, allegedly, that something disturbing is going on here. Now, after this video went viral, people started filming themselves pretending to hit their kids.
Hey parents of small children, let's stop with this trend. The trend is the one where you pretend to hit your kid because, you want to show that they don't flinch because you don't actually hit your children. We all understand that in the original video, that boy was scared of his father and that they clearly were not playing. We know this. We can tell. We have eyes. You also do not need to be doing this trend to show that you don't hit your children. We all believe you. I think it's a really bizarre trend to be doing. I don't think you should be pretending to hit your child for views and to show the world that you don't hit them when nobody asked. So please stop.
Now, beyond this, there have been several instances where Hannah has denied her child food and even water. One of these moments was particularly disturbing because her husband is seen flicking away her baby's little hand when he is reaching for a French fry.
First stop were $9 lobster rolls. Technically, we got a lobster roll, a fried shrimp, lobster rolls. Technically, we got a lobster roll, a fried shrimp roll, and a fried...
To me, this is one of the worst ones. If I ever saw my boyfriend flicking my dog's paw or nose when she goes to get a bite of food, I would be like, what is wrong with you? Are you abusing our dog? Even if my dog is sniffing around for a French fry, and you should see how close she gets to my food. She's not the best trained dog, which is totally my fault, especially because I share almost all of my food with her. Rarely, and I mean rarely, do I ever eat anything without giving her a bite. I mean, unless it's chocolate or onions or peppers or something that she just can't have, otherwise she'll be sick or die. She usually always gets her own little bite. And, maybe it's a bad habit to feed her like that. And maybe that's why she bothers me every time I'm eating. But she's like my child because I don't have human children. And again, I hate to be that person who constantly compares my experience with my dog to someone's experience with their children. But that's all I have to go off of. Never would I allow my boyfriend to flick my dog's paw or nose away from a French fry. Nova absolutely loves French fries. So to me, this is inexcusable. Now, this next clip is another one where her and her husband are stuffing their faces, and instead of sharing her food with her child, she gives him a little tiny piece of bread, almost to shut him up.
Feel bad, so I did give him a tiny little piece. Because honestly, this will probably be his lunch because it's already past nap time, so when we go home, we're going straight to bed.
What I just can't seem to understand is why you don't buy him his own food at the same time you're buying your food. Why are you and that man always stuffing your fucking faces, but your son is never getting the food he needs?
Freaking slapped. James was asking for a bite, and I said, we're in the new car. I'm not giving you a whole sub sandwich, but you can have a bite of my bread. That's what you can have. And then I'll feed you something else when we get home. But no, these sandwiches are for mom and dad. Seriously, something about Jersey Mike's is probably one of my biggest pregnancy cravings, but it's so freaking expensive I never actually go. I could have downed this whole sandwich, but unfortunately I had to share with my husband.
Okay, so if you didn't want to get your car dirty, why didn't you just step outside the car? instead of going through the drive-thru? Why didn't you just sit in the little outside patio? If they didn't have a patio, why didn't you sit inside so your son can eat rather than not feeding him at all and just giving him a little piece of bread? If your car is really that much more important than feeding your son, why are you going through the drive-thru? Because truly, all I'm seeing is how you two are constantly stuffing your faces in these videos. And that poor little baby is lucky to get a single bite of bread. And you act like that's something to be proud of. Here's another disturbing moment because as we see, she's now not just denying her child food, but now she's also denying them water.
This one's mom's water. So I cleaned the house for 3 hours so I could have this.
Okay. I do that every week. Girl, you clean the house for 3 hours? I literally do that every week. And I don't even have kids. I literally clean the house for longer than 3 hours, actually. Especially when you throw in laundry, kitchen, bathroom, living room, floors. It takes me probably almost 6 hours by the time everything's said and done. And even if she didn't want to share her drink because it was soda and she didn't want her child having all that sugar or whatever the case is, he's still asking for water. Why not just give him water? It's a basic need. He's clearly asking for it. Water is one of those basic needs like air. A child should not have to beg for it. And if you're so dead set on sticking to a $10 budget, girl, water's free. Share a sip of that drink you have in your hand or give them a cup of water. It's that simple. So as you guys can start to see, it's becoming a pattern with Nurse Hannah to neglect her children's or child's basic needs. And in this next clip, as she mentions, it's -8 degrees outside. And yet she's out with her children, one of which does not have a coat, and she goes shopping for one. She realizes it's too expensive, but then brags about how much money she makes and still leaves the store without buying the coat.
It was like 8 degrees. And we're venturing out of the house with 2 kids because I am stupid. This is how cold the car is. This is literally rock freaking solid. Winter in like 0.2 days and this kid doesn't have a big jacket. So I need to find him a big jacket. Alright, but I can't spend $35 on a toddler jacket. I know he needs one, obviously. I'm not just gonna say like, don't take his blanket, please. That's brother's blanket, don't take it. It's cold.
Maybe he's taking his blanket because he's
I know,
cold.
I can't just be like, oh, like, it's too expensive. He doesn't need to have a jacket. He needs a jacket.
Hannah, you're complaining about a $35 jacket when you've come on this internet bragging about how much money your husband makes, how much money you make off of TikTok, and also how much money you make as a nurse. Over $100,000 to be exact. So you can't sit there and deny your child a $35 jacket while also making videos like this.
I'm sick of that you're a low paid nurse because I made easy 6 figures in 2023 and we're doing it again in 2024. I'm sick of it. So if you want to make easy 6 figures as an LPN in 2024, buckle up because we're talking about it. Yeah, I'm not sitting here telling you to work 4 days a week. That's just not what we're doing. You know, we're going to work 3 days a week. We're going to be real nurses and we're going to make a lot of money. We're not low paid nurses. We're not your fake nurse. We are real nurses and we are making money. Got it? Got it? Cool.
We are real high paid nurses, but we are not buying our children $35 winter coats. Okay. I just finished filming, but I felt like this was way too important not to mention. She has shared that her child's bedroom door has a lock that locks from the outside, not the inside, the outside. And I want to hear from the parents down in the comments. What would be the reasons why you would have a lock on your child's door that only locks and unlocks from the outside? I'm sitting here trying to rack my brain, and the only reasons I could come up with are really dangerous ones. Like, you don't want your child getting out. If they're having a temper tantrum, you want them to be in one spot. You don't want them bothering you. If they're hungry, you don't want them going downstairs and sneaking food. If they just got a pat on the bum and you want to lock them away, they wouldn't be able to get out of the room, allegedly. Now, the issue I have with this is not only is it extremely sketchy, because I know a lot of parents in my life and not one of them have a lock on the outside of the door. So that's concerning. But also, let's say there was a fire or something and that child needed to get out. Now, your child can't just run out, even though they would be able to in a case like that if there wasn't a lock on the door. But now you have to go to the room, unlock the door, get inside, and that all takes a lot of time when there is an emergency going on, right? So that doesn't seem very safe. Also, let's say you think your child's in there taking a nap or something. We all know toddlers can be a little mischievous. They get into things because they're babies. They don't know any better. Like, they're very curious. So let's say they were doing something and they hurt themselves, and now they can't go find you and seek help. I could go on and think of all the reasons why this would be a bad idea. But again, I want to hear from the parents. I want to know why this would be the case. If it wasn't something malicious, why would there be a lock on the outside? If it's something completely innocent and something we shouldn't be worried about, what is that reason? Because to me, my mind goes in like crazy land and I start getting really, really worried for this child. So can somebody bring me down and make me realize that this is just a completely innocent, benign situation here? Because this is extremely concerning to me.
So then I got up and I got dressed and I checked on James and I felt like actual death leaving my house today. So pray for me, because this was gonna be a rough. Even James loved this, but I was upset because I didn't want to share it with him, and my husband didn't want to share it with him, but he needed something. Poor James only got like 1.5 slices of this.
There are so many other videos circulating that Nurse Hannah has herself posted that suggest not everything is as it seems with her and her family. For time's sake, I can't get to all of them. Sadly, I have a feeling we will be revisiting the situation because I don't think this is the last we'll be seeing of her. People online have been comparing her to Ruby Franke and calling her Ruby 2.0, and she has responded to all of this. But before we dive into her responses, I want you to check out this video where she says that she does not change her baby's diaper when they pee.
I'm not changing my kid's diaper when they pee. I've never done that. Do you know how expensive diapers are? I have friends and people that I know that, like, oh, they peed, we have to change their diaper. And I'm like, they peed? Literally, I will change his diaper if he poops. Or if it's like a very full diaper. Diapers are so freaking expensive. I'm not out here changing his diaper every time he pees. I would be going through 30 diapers a day.
Put a pin in that video for now because we'll need to circle back to it later. Now, I don't even have a child, as I've mentioned, but even I know that not changing your baby's diaper after they pee can lead to things like diaper rash. Here is Hannah's first response to the criticism.
So the fact that I even have to address this right now is kind of insane.
Is it?
Social media is just... it's a scary place, and I never understood people that much when they said they couldn't share their kids' faces online or they couldn't share much about their kids. I didn't really understand it, but it's crazy.
So social media is a scary place, but yet you continuously put your children on social media, and you didn't understand that you couldn't share your kids' faces online until you started getting backlash. It wasn't all the other dangers that people have warned you about. It wasn't their privacy. It wasn't their footprint on social media. It wasn't the exploitation of them. It was the criticism that you're getting that finally made you realize that you shouldn't be sharing your child online.
If you were to know me in real life, this whole lazy husband thing, it's satire. My husband is the sweetest, nicest, kindest, most loving, most nurturing father in the entire world. He is playing on the ground with James like 90% of the day. If that man is not laughing, having fun,
90% of the day? Girl, does he work? Does he shower? He obviously eats, but 90% of the day? That's crazy. Does he have time for you?
Teasing him, playing with him, whatever it is, then I don't know, then something's wrong, because those two have the strongest bond, the strongest father-son bond that I know of anyone else. And it makes me really sad that social media has turned it into something, or me, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe that's, it makes me sad that I guess I've turned it into something like that. I don't know. In the video that you guys are all freaking out about, they're just playing. They're always playing. They're always playing where they scare each other.
No. In the video that we're freaking out about, they're playing. Him flicking his hand away. Him bracing for impact when he's handed a box of ice cream. They're not playing. That baby was crying. He wasn't in a very playful mood. We all saw it. Stop with the bullshit.
James is obsessed with dinosaurs and bears, and when they look away and they come back and they scare each other, and they play, like when they throw something, they'll play throw it, you know, you like psych them out, you know, and they flinch and whatever. Like that's what they're always doing. They're always like hiding behind couches and jumping at each other and chasing each other around the house and up the stairs and down the stairs and tackling each other. They're always playing constantly, to the point where like if I'm trying to talk to my husband, I can't, because he's always playing with my son. Nothing's going on. From the moment that my husband wakes up in the morning to the second he goes to bed, he is only thinking about our children and our family and what's best for us. And that's never not on his mind. He is constantly thinking about his children, their futures.
Why is he spending so much time thinking about their futures? He should be thinking about right now, about getting them a coat, about getting your kids fed. Maybe you should worry less about the future and worry more about right now. Getting your kids fed, getting their diapers full of pee changed, getting a coat on that baby.
What it's like now, how to be the best father. You can't believe everything you see on social media. You just can't. I promise, and when I promise this, I'm serious. Nothing is going on. You know, I don't really owe anyone an explanation. I could just be like everybody else, and when stuff like this happens, I could just keep quiet, and I thought about keeping quiet and just kind of letting it blow over. But I thought, I don't want that. I don't even want the thought of that out there. I don't want anyone to suspect anything.
You don't want to lose your money. You don't want to lose sponsorships. You don't want to lose your following. That's what you don't want. You don't care about rage baiting. You don't care about this being out there. You don't want to lose money.
That even to be questioned whatsoever, that me or my husband, that we do not love our children, that we do not treat them with anything other than love. Like, it's crazy. There's nothing going on. Nothing.
So then, like I said, after this, people started calling her Ruby 2.0 in the comments, and she just thought this was so funny. It's so silly. So let's take a look at her response. Second response.
The fact that I'm even being compared right now to Ruby Franke is absolutely comical. It's hilarious, really. We live in a world nowadays where people will turn nothing into something. We live in a world where people are so desperate to become TikTok famous, they will post about anything in order to get views for themselves.
No. Videos that are being made about you are not making people TikTok famous. Videos like this are probably amongst my least viewed videos. If you look at all my videos that I make about family vloggers, mommy vloggers, family channels are amongst my least viewed videos. So there's that. Second, people in the comments calling you out are not getting any type of fame from that. They're not getting TikTok famous. What are you talking about?
They don't care if it's going to bring someone down with it. They just want to become TikTok famous. The fact that my children are happy, they're healthy, well-nourished, they're running around playing, that should be a pretty good indicator that everything's just fine. It's great.
Are they well-nourished and happy and healthy? Because there's been a lot of videos posted where your child is crying. I think I've seen more videos of him crying than him laughing. There's been many videos where he isn't being fed. He's getting swatted away. He's bracing for impact, even more than just the videos that I've shared here. And I can't really speak to the health part of it, But seeing as though you were 30 something weeks pregnant and didn't see the doctor, I can't imagine that you take your children to the doctor often if you don't even take yourself to the doctor when you're pregnant.
They always have a clean bum and never have a dirty diaper on.
Oh, really?
I'm not changing my kid's diaper when they pee. I've never done that.
To me, that's not a clean diaper. Even if there are 17 dirty diapers on your floor, I don't believe that they always have a clean diaper on based off of what you've shared.
The fact that this is even a thing right now is something that I just... It really is. It truly is really funny.
Is it?
Honestly, with social media nowadays, I can sit down and eat a sandwich and that would be controversial for some reason.
No, it's not controversial if you sit down and eat a sandwich. What's controversial is that you and your husband sit down and eat a sandwich and flick your child's hand away when he tries to get a bite of that sandwich.
I've had a lot of friends in my life ask me how to get started on social media and on TikTok specifically, and I've always told them, only do it if you have ridiculously thick skin. You cannot post your life on social media if you don't have thick skin.
You tell people not to post their lives on social media if they don't have thick skin, yet you have no problem posting your child on social media, not knowing whether or not they have thick skin because they are a child. And children typically don't have thick skin because they're children. So why on earth would you post them on social media when you yourself said, do not post anything if you don't have thick skin? So why are you posting your children again? It's always so interesting to me when people like Nurse Hannah share so much about their personal lives, offering intimate details about them and their parenting methods, especially controversial ones for shock value, and then get so offended when people form opinions and share those opinions. It's like you made the content, and not only that, but you were so proud, so arrogant and confident in sharing it. How can you be upset when people have opinions? If you don't want people judging your parenting or discussing your methods, maybe you should reconsider what you're putting out there. Don't share your parenting techniques, controversial choices, or your family on social media if you can't handle criticism or public opinions about it. Another thing I find interesting is how proud people like Nurse Hannah are of this kind of content. If you think this is normal, I can't help but wonder what's really going on behind the scenes. How much worse can it possibly be if this is the type of content you are comfortable showing? It's honestly scary to think about what she's not sharing, because if this is what she's willing to reveal, it makes me worried about what's really going on when they're not posting for the public to see. All in all, I think the comparisons between Ruby Franke and Nurse Hannah are spot on. And I think the thing they have most in common is acting like doing the bare minimum, like feeding their kids or providing a roof over their head or keeping them clean is something they should be praised for, when in reality, it's just basic parenting, the basic essentials. And I think in a broader sense, it's troubling to see the correlation between mommy vloggers, family vloggers, whatever, and abuse. This is why people like myself believe social media isn't a safe space for kids. Once you start monetizing your children, they become like employees, performing for likes and views. And when they don't perform as expected, sometimes this can lead to harmful and even violent behavior. Do I think Nurse Hannah was hitting or spanking her child before she was on social media for legal reasons? I don't know. But I'm glad that it's now being exposed online. However, I think the fact that she's now monetizing her children is creating more tension that could potentially make things worse. This has become a significant source of income for her, and the pressure to have her children perform on social media could escalate. I believe CPS is now involved with Hannah. I'm unsure to what extent. If we remember, CPS was looking into Ruby Franke for a long time and still nothing was done. So ultimately, it may be up to us, the public, to keep an eye on this and on Nurse Hannah to see what unfolds, because I don't have much faith in Utah CPS. And I just hope Hannah's children are okay. Specifically, her son. I wish she would stop spanking her children and stop posting them online. This is just such a sad situation, and we've seen it time and time again with family vloggers that the children are the ones who suffer. But let me know what you guys think about all of this. I know Nurse Hannah is going viral because of all of this, and I just want to hear your thoughts. Thanks for bearing with me throughout this video. I'm a little under the weather. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm a little sick today. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Bye guys. Thanks for watching.